Damn. That was hot.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Oh.
307 Red. Welcome back.
Yeah.
I feel like that deserves a sultry. That was a good, might be my best snap all year. I'm Matt. That's Chris. The channel is 307 Reacts. How are we doing, everybody? You guys are the best audience in the world. We appreciate you for being here. I'm not even going to, we'll wait until next week on that. On the screen in front of us, Heavy as the Crown, Linkin Park, acapella voice play featuring Jay Nunn. Hashtag Arcane? Is that the album name? I don't know. I'm just reading.
Arcane has to do with the voice play version.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Because let's be real. If you're going to take a Linkin Park song and make it a cappella, you're probably going back to some kind of medieval feeling.
And I feel like this is gonna fall into that same category of what we talked about before. Like if you're gonna cover a Linkin Park song,
you're gonna cover a Michael Jackson song.
Yes. Oh, that's what it was. You better be ready. You better be ready to put up. And I feel like if there's a group that's gonna put up, it's probably gonna be voice play, right?
For sure.
Like, yeah. So this has been. We were gonna do this one last night on our reactions. It doesn't make a difference to you guys. You don't know that we film these in 2 different days, but we film these in 2 different days. We were gonna do it last night on our reactions, and we decided to save it. A, because we were running low on battery, and B, because we knew it was gonna. We had done 3, and it was like we knew this one was gonna be like a.
Take our time.
There's going to be some moments in this. We just know what's coming. Neither of us have seen this, but it's voice play. We know what to expect, right? And I feel like our expectations are going to be met and then exceeded by 1,000 times. They usually are. So we decided to save it for tonight, and so it's good. We're fresh mindset. You know, we're ready to hit this thing from the top and make it happen. So if you guys are along for the ride, we would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button that's down there.
85% of you.
Totally. The 85% of people that show up week after week, we've been doing this for 4 years now, and you show up week after week and you watch our videos, but you don't hit the button. We see it. YouTube doesn't. It tells us. It tells us who's doing it and who's not doing it, and it's the 85%. So unfortunately, we got to have that conversation right now. We need you guys.
Ratted you out.
We need you guys to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. We don't bombard your feed. It's 4 episodes a week, once a day, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's it. That's all. That's all we're here for. So please help us out on this road to us not having to work regular jobs and doing something awesome with our lives. That would be amazing. That's all it takes. Hit that red button, shall we?
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah. Arcane medieval. That's good.
Pouring in, you're late on the floor again. One knock at the door and then we both know how the story ends. Can't wait if your white flags out when the war begins. Aiming so high, but swinging so low. Trying to catch fire, but feeling so cold. Hold it inside and hope it won't show. I'm saying it's not, but inside I know. Today's gonna be the day you notice. 'Cause I'm tired of explaining what the joke is. This is what you ask for. Heavy is the crown. Fire in the sunrise. Ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you ask for. Heavy is the crown. Turn to run, now look what it's become. Outnumbered 10-1, back then should've bit your tongue. Whoa, already on.
Okay, so for reference, we just listened to the original before we started. I needed a
refresher.
Yeah, I just needed some material so I could relate to what's going on, right? Just so I could hear the original and compare the two. It's not, for me, in the voice play version right now, it's not the leads, which are great. The rap lead is great. It's the little lines where the other 4 members are doing these harmony parts.
The rap part.
And they're all doing these like chords throughout the whole thing, and like, what? That's
crazy,
dude. They're moving so fast. It's like when you're in a full orchestra, right? And you've got the horn section that has this staccato 16th, 8th note run that they need. And they practice it, and then you hear it come together in the full performance, and you're just like, okay, it is possible. Like, that's so cool sounding.
I feel like a lot of boy bands did this very well in the late 90s or the 2000s.
Yo, maybe that's what.
Because this section here, let's.
Yeah.
Turn to run, now look what it's become. Outnumbered 10-1, back then should've bit your tongue. this path once it's begun.
Yo,
A very in sync vibe to me.
Okay, I didn't make the connection until you mentioned it and we listened. But yeah, that's got boy band written all over it, right?
Yeah,
Like that
was great.
That's like some Backstreet Boys all
Make
day,
in
dude.
sync great again.
Dude. All right. Since we're here in the comment section right now, is it NSYNC or is it Backstreet Boys?
Oh shit!
Tell me which one you were. I had NSYNC. I had
For those
NSYNC
of you
album.
who have no idea what we're talking about, okay, you're like, well, isn't the
gray.
Jonas Brothers a boy? Listen,
It's the
you're
gray
too
and the
young,
beard. I get it.
Okay,
Like
you're too
it's
young.
just all you have to do is if you don't understand
Go
the
find
references,
your mom
look
and
at
ask
that.
her,
Yeah,
okay?
go find your parents. They'll tell you. They will give you their opinion. Be like, oh, this is it's finally happening. Great. I finally have a chance
Great.
to express my opinion on which one is
Your
better.
dad will put in a CD. Your mom will put in a different one. It'll be a great time.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have a great night.
You're gonna learn what CDs are.
That's true. That weird wooden cabinet that's been in the basement with the black foam mesh things next to it.
Yeah.
That's your parents' home stereo, and they're probably going to be very excited that you're
bust
asking
it
them
back
to
out,
use
okay.
that. They're probably going to bust out a bottle of wine. Like it's happening, right? There's like this. What I want to say.
Your
Like
dad
there's like
might
this,
even put on some basketball shorts.
there's this Armageddon going on in the house where all of a sudden the kids are asking us about the thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's our time to chime in. I had them both. I had NSYNC albums and Backstreet Boys albums.
Yeah.
Were you in the
my
same
mom
boat?
had both as well.
Your mom?
Yeah.
You never had them?
I never had them.
Okay.
So like,
Did you listen to them?
oh, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
So like,
how could you not?
I'm not gonna be that guy and be like, I didn't listen to no boy bands. Okay, like, fuck that.
Nah, dude.
It was one of those things. I grew up in a musically challenging household. Okay,
Yeah,
because like,
yeah.
grew up in a Christian house. Okay,
Yep.
you only listen to Christian music. Blah blah blah. But then like my mom's side, it was like, you know, Brad Paisley, Chris Cagle. Okay,
Oh, country-
Backstreet Boys,
oh.
NSYNC, Linkin Park.
Dude, that's a good.
It was like a good mix
That's a
of
good
just
variety.
about everything.
Yeah.
The Dixie Chicks, like, I mean, there was a lot of good music I was introduced to as a kid.
A Saturday morning at my house, like, or a Sunday morning when we're doing chores, anything
Yeah.
that's on the house radio, it could be anything from Reba McEntire
Oh,
to
yeah.
Blink-182's The Mark, Tom, and Travis Show, the live
Yes.
version. Like, it could literally be anything in between. Billy Idol, Shania Twain. Every once in a while, we had some country-ish. I mean, Shania Twain. Well, what's
Reba.
Reba, dude, my parents, they were into that kind of shit, dude. Jethro Tull,
Dude.
fucking
That
the James Gang,
9 to 5, dude.
I
By
mean-
Reba, song is unbeatable.
and
okay.
and it's yeah, and it was just a mixed bag, and you kind of grow up with a little bit of
Yeah.
everything, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Back in the day when you had to go buy a CD, those were cool days.
I've
I remember
specifically
getting excited about, oh, dude. Fucking, what was the one I got really, Mud on the Tires by Brad Paisley.
okay.
I remember, dude, this album is in Walmart. Like, I remember seeing the thing. I was like, fuck, it's coming out, like, this week. And so I went down there, fucking got that shit with my mom, and we jammed the shit. The CD even looked like a mud tire with it had the
Okay.
artwork on it.
The mud tire
Yes.
thing reminds me of Brian Adams. Brian Adams back in
had
the
one
day
too,
had
yeah.
an album with a fucking mud tire on it.
Yeah.
It was a Brian Adams album. That was one that got played at my grandma's house frequently.
Yeah. Yep.
What was I gonna say? I was thinking about the debates between the
NSYNC and
bands,
Backstreet Boys.
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. It really just kind of stemmed into just like childhood memories of like all the different things that I used to listen. And like Chris said, like I grew up in a Christian family. Like listen to it could be. It's weird to think that I used to listen to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and now I'm like through and through punk rocker and the heavier side of punk rock, all the way into metal and like even some death metal, even into like some EDM stuff, right? If it's like heavy enough. And then we've talked about it before. Most rap songs are a guitar and a drum set away from being just a metal song. So like a little bit of rap too. Me and Alex were listening to Tom McDonald on the way to Galway's tonight.
Oh, did you show him that new one?
Showed him the song.
What'd he say?
Oh, dude, he's like, I held my hands up while I was driving, and you could just see the hair standing up, just the goosebumps on my, the whole time. We listened to it twice.
Yeah.
And both times, the words, man.
God.
So anyways, it's a mixed bag. I don't know where that started off. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys in the comments. You have to tell us.
They're giving us a vibe, guys.
Oh,
okay?
it's
giving us a vibe.
it's one of those things that VoicePlay does. I had
We're
no
gonna hit
idea
that
this.
one more
Yeah,
time
go ahead.
there.
I had no idea this song could sound the way that it does, arranged differently, especially after just listening to it like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's completely different.
I think the only thing I didn't... Now, don't rip me apart, okay?
He just said didn't.
The
Here we go.
only thing I didn't care for was how much nothing there was in the background when he first started rapping.
Sure, okay.
I think Lane, is that right?
The black dude, right?
Beatboxer.
Lane, the drum guy.
Okay,
yeah, that's Lane. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just having a brain fart over here. I think Lane could have added maybe a little hi-hat, a little something percussive in the background there.
Jeff, Oscar, Janon, Ellie, Lane.
Yeah.
Did I get him?
Yeah, you got him.
I think I got him.
They saw you point at every single one.
Every one of them, because the screen cap is totally up right now.
But yeah, that's the only thing is I felt like, but I know that if you don't have somewhere to build, then
right,
you got to start off a little thin.
I get that. I feel like it's just such a far disconnect.
Oh, for sure.
From the original, right? Like the key, I think, is even maybe different from the original.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so his voice and his tone is like a little bit lower. Maybe even some like raspiness on that to make it a little more aggressive may have filled the space just a little bit more, made it a little more interesting. But regardless, dude, I ain't no professional.
Now that we're into it, fucking great.
These are the guys with 20 million views on their videos.
I
fucking don't know anything, so.
What do I know? I'm just some bitch.
Yeah, he's a mechanic, and I put cabinets in people's houses. That's what we do. So
yeah, let's listen to some more NSYNC.
Intricacies, man.
Keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crown. Turn to run, now look what it's become. Outnumber 10 to 1. Back then should have bit your tongue. Whoa, already on that list. Say you don't want, but you can't resist. Waving that sword when the pen won't miss. Watch it all falling apart like this. Today's gonna be the day you notice. Cause I'm tired of explaining what the joke is. This is what you asked for.
Yeah.
The crown, fire in the sunrise.
That octave drum, dude? Yeah.
Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out.
Okay, see, this is at the beginning. This is at the beginning when I was like, J-Nun could have maybe had a little more aggression. Well, clearly there's a reason. They planned this, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason it was so gentle at the beginning.
It's got
Ellie's going to come
somewhere.
in with the octave jump, and he's going to do his thingy, the raspiness thingy. Yeah. And here we go. This is exactly what I was expecting, and then they were just like, no, it's there. Just hang on. Just let it ride. Just let it ride.
You don't start driving in 5th gear, okay?
Yeah.
You got to start it first.
Start early, man. It's exactly. This is
spectacular.
This is it, dude. This is what I was like. This is what was going through my head, man.
The crown, fire in the sunrise, ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crown. Today's gonna be the day you notice. Cause I'm tired of explaining what the joke is.
This is what you asked for.
This is what you asked for.
Damn. What was that? What was that noise? What was that thing? Okay. So we're just not going to talk about the weird thing, the guttural thing that just came out of Lane? Really?
Asked for.
This is what you asked for.
I literally don't know what that sound is.
Yeah.
God, dude.
It was like a cat just being stretched.
Beatboxers are so weird, dude. They're drummers, right?
Yeah.
Like drummers are like the weirdest fucking people I've ever met in my life. I am one, so like I can speak on this, right? They're like the weirdest people in the world. Beatboxers are literally just the same thing without a drum set.
Yeah.
Like it's a drummer that like
they're not tethered to something. So they're
bingo. They've got like that little desktop drum set in their head, right? The little multi-pad fucking Tascam thingy that came out decades ago. And all the sounds that thing make, but it's in a bank in their head and they can just emulate them when they need to. On top of an actual drum set making the real drum sounds, he's doing like a snare, but then he's adding all these other weird nuances. It's that weird producer thing where a lot of producers don't like gaps in music, right? If it's just music for too long, it gets boring. So they typically like to fill the void, whether there's supposed to be something there or not, with something ear candy, right? Which is why, like, at the very beginning of the second verse of this, when we were talking about where they have those little chorded, there's also, right before that, there's these little chunks where they're just like, and they're doing like these little tiny things, right? Fill in the little gaps. It's perfect. The writing is,
the arrangement is spectacular.
It's again, like I said at the beginning, it's exactly what I expected, and then they're way beyond.
Just showing off.
Yeah, they're way beyond any expectation that I had, which I was ready for, but it still blows me away every time.
This is what you asked for.
I can't explain that.
This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crown. Fire in the sunrise. Ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. This is what you asked for. This is what you asked for.
A little double vocal there.
This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crown. Fire in the sunrise. Ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the
Okay. I'm not going to say anything yet, but I have my thoughts. Pro Tools. They're using Pro Tools. I see it. It's right there. It's pulled up. Hacked. It's over, VoicePlay. I got you. You're on my radar. All you're doing is using Pro Tools. I get it now. Duh. All the industry standard is Pro Tools. No wonder you guys sound so good. Like, clearly it's just a computer program that's making you sound... This is all facetious. This is they're completely exaggerated.
Listen, I've used Pro Tools. No clue.
I've used... It's like using Photoshop. I've been working in audio recording for 2 decades. I have no idea how to use Pro Tools at all.
I record something, it shows up there. Sounds like shit.
The waves do the thing. And then when it comes time to fix all that, I'm like, I thought Pro Tools did that for you. And Pro Tools is actually, no, the exact opposite. This is like the hardest version to use to make things the right way.
Yeah.
Because it's been industry standard forever, so everyone just continues to use it because it's what all the pros know. It's what they know how to use. I just wanted to, I saw it on there and I was like, what DAW? It's Pro Tools. And, actually, this looks like Pro Tools. I think it's Logic is also owned by Pro Tools, PreSonus, whatever it is. PreSonus Studio One. There's like a couple different ones, but this looks like Pro Tools to me. That's it. That's all. That's it. Okay, let's, okay, I remember now. You ready for a hot take? This is going to be a hot...
Oh, yeah, let's go.
This is going to be a hot take. So if you don't have your oven mitts on, now is the time. Get them on, because your finger's about to be burning. Someone's finger is about to be completely burned off. And they're going to be angry about it. I think Pentatonics needs to watch their shit. Like,
it's funny that you say that, because I was going to wait till you finished your thought, and I had something related to them as well.
Look, we've watched our fair share of pentatonic stuff, and I think that they are literally at the top of their game. They are some of the greatest vocalists, performers I've ever seen. They're unbelievably good, right? And a lot of people would argue they're the best there is. I just think it's like when a corporation makes something that's really, really good, right? And then you have these subsidiary or these independent companies that come through on the bottom end of things and start making a similar product that sells almost just as well.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden the main company's kind of like watching their shit like, I don't know, man, we got a little competition here.
Yeah.
I think there's a similar thing going on between these two. And this, again, hot take, this could just be my opinion. I don't know if these two groups communicate with each other. I don't know if they have any, I don't know if they're friends. I don't know if they even know each other. I just think that on the scale of incredibly well-performed, put-together, seamless, polished, beautiful productions, dude, VoicePlay is like, I can't find any flaws anymore. I literally can't. And other than these little things where it's like, maybe the intro could have been a little more busy. And then 30 seconds later, I'm like, never mind. It literally had everything it needed to because these guys plan and they logisticize things and perform it perfectly.
I think so. What I was gonna say is I see over the past couple of years we've been watching Ellie grow. Okay, his vocal range has increased significantly. His control has increased. He's got this kind of growl thing he started adding in here within the last year or so.
Raspy, growly anger. I love it, man.
I think what makes this group unique enough to me. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I love Home Free. Voctave is pretty good. Pentatonics is good. But I love to watch the growth. Now, here's the thing that Pentatonics had going for them early on, okay? So they had Avi Kaplan, who was their bass player, or the bass singer. That dude could sing ridiculously low, okay? But then they have a female in the group, and she is not the soprano. Yeah. She's the alto. And they have Mitch, who is singing the soprano.
And you just send it to the moon, bro.
You have two people in this group that are
powerhouse.
Hey, we're drawing you in. Now listen to my friends. And they're as a cohesive piece. So they have two people that are unique in the group that draw everybody in, and then they collectively work together to build that audience.
That's smart. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but like
VoicePlay, when they first started out, he can sing really fucking low. Like, that's dope. That's super cool. And that's kind of all they had for a while. It's not that they were bad singers.
Not at all.
It's just like, this was the only thing that would grab attention, and provided, some of those people stuck around and listened to everything they put out. But now that Ellie's doing his thing, okay, he's the quote-unquote soprano of the group, and you get to see this guy just rip and tear it up on the higher end and do it in a way that's actually catching.
Dude,
Like in this one, okay, he tore up the low end. None of that stood out to me. All of Ellie's high-end, powerful...
Castellucci in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed. Yeah. Jeff had his low parts in this one. Really, it's crazy because most of the time I'm like pretty blown away by the low stuff. This time I was actually more interested, and I think it's maybe because I'm just knee deep in all of our studio audio stuff right now. I'm like really like I would love to know what his signal chain is to get his low end so goddamn consistent,
like clear,
consistent. It doesn't matter what note he hits, right? Different notes have different frequencies, right? Like ooh is different than a ah. Like the ooh is going to have a lot slower waves, right? So it's going to pick up and resonate differently in the speakers, unless you put compression limiting things like that on it to make it to like contain it, right? But if you're going to contain a slow moving sound frequency that's wider, then that same set of signal chain is also going to contain its compression, whatever. The higher signal, which doesn't need any of that. The higher signal actually needs to be opened up.
Yeah.
So the lower signal needs to be pinched in a little bit, and then the higher signal actually needs to be opened up. Where is the balance? What do you... And it's not. This is clearly not like some industry secret. This is because there are album after album after album after album of bass players, singers, whatever it may be, who can just get that consistency. What is it? I have no idea. But it wasn't a fact of like, these notes are crazy and I can't believe the lows. It was more of like how is this mixed so damn well?
Yeah. As
far as the low end goes. And I feel the same about the high end. And then Ellie comes in with the octave and you're just like, oh shit.
The thing that kills me is, like this note was not in his range 2 years ago.
Sure.
And if it wasn't this powerful. He couldn't scream it.
He couldn't make it as emotional and impactful.
Yeah.
It was more of like a reach.
Or even just like there's parts of it where he's just like fucking
angry. Yeah, emotional. Like he's just you can tell he lives the fucking, he's just feeling it.
Yeah.
I apologize for the profanity. My bad. I'm a blue collar guy.
I don't give a fuck.
This is how I talk. I'm sorry.
But no, like I feel like Ellie is becoming the person who is gonna be that other grab for the group. When it comes to home free, okay, Austin was doing fantastic at playing that high end and grabbed a lot of people in there. And then, we had Tim on the low end bringing a lot of people in there. That's why these three groups are very popular. I think seeing the growth in Ellie over the past 3 years, if he continues to grow, he may at least help the group come level with, if not surpass, Pentatonics.
And I'm just like, these are the hot takes.
Yeah,
I know there are people out there kind of with like
that are upset right now,
like a certain young female artist that we reacted to 2 years ago that we decided we're never doing.
I can't
again.
even remember her name.
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it because it will trigger the algorithm, and then before you know it, this movie or this video will get completely canceled. However, it's in the same vein of that, where you're gonna have these people when you say these hot takes, like, I don't know, VoicePlay, like, dude, if you were to put this next to a Pentatonics, like
here's the thing, and Pentatonics is very good. They produce. I mean,
dude,
their production value is amazing, but they have a label backing them.
Dude,
that doesn't make them less good.
Let me correct here. You mispronounced the label.
They have
backing.
label.
They have the biggest label in music history
in the world, literally in the world,
in their pocket. They have access to literally anyone and anything that they need to make the thing happen.
Yeah.
VoicePlay,
DIYer, baby,
does have a little reach, right? I'm sure they've got access. They've got some phone numbers. Don't get me wrong. They've got clearly. They've got the phone numbers to the right guys. This mix is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But they're not even close to being in the same like musical like atmosphere as far as that side of things go as Pentatonics, which a lot of bands aren't because you're signed by like the major, right?
Yeah.
So to be in the same like fighting ring based on your own productions,
be in the same conversation,
dude, it's crazy.
I mean, that would be no different than, a 10 for 10 showing up to the Grammys one year, and all of a sudden they just get announced with Linkin Park, and they're like,
or with some other grunge band,
like we just played a show for 5 people yesterday. Like, like, you know
something
what I mean?
That.
Like,
or like even they're like getting to play on the obvious. They didn't make the cut, but for them being able to get on to like Bratfest, even something like that, where you're going to be on the same stage as like some legitimate legends in your industry. Just to be in a realm like that, it's like it's the same conversation where it's like, dude, this podunk from Casper is legitimately going to be like doing the damn thing.
Yeah. And not to say
and they
that,
qualify for that, dude. It's crazy.
Now here we go. Okay, not to say that VoicePlay is some podunk fucking whatever. Okay,
no.
But it's similar as, hey, I need to load up my gear into my car and drive to this venue in a Cadillac with a U-Haul trailer behind me. Because I don't have a label to load my shit into a semi and just have it be there when I show up.
I was going to say, it's already there and set up when you get there. Yeah.
Like, Pentatonics, when they show up to a thing, they go and get dressed.
They're more concerned about
that's-
getting dressed and
it.
and being and playing.
They're not
the part.
worried about their gear. They're not worried about the sound. They're not worried. I mean,
And that's the world they've created for themselves.
Yeah.
That's
And
we're
good
not,
on
we're
them.
not that's not a talking shit. That's a
Yeah.
level of success that most musicians
Will
dream
never
of.
have.
They dream of that level of success. I want to show up and not lift a finger and have everybody waiting on me hand and foot. Because I've created this level of success and popularity for myself, that this is what I have garnered for my this is my success. This is how I show my success. I don't move my gear anymore because I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I got successful and I could hire somebody, or my label rather, hired somebody to do that for me. And this dude's like a totally cool guy that knows more about my shit than I do.
yeah,
So yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's I think that VoicePlay has been on a trajectory over the last 2 years for us. A year at least. 12 months at least, right?
we've been covering them for 3 years for sure.
But for the first year, it was like
it was like yeah,
it was
good.
it was more of a low end game. We were impressed with
Yeah.
low end, and I'm still impressed to this day. Jeff still, it's all the low end guys, right?
Yeah.
We know that. But the fact that they have, like you said, added to this pitch of theirs
They're not relying on his vocal.
we're now a weapon.
thing.
We don't have a weapon. We are now the weapon, right? Like we have combined. We're like the Power Rangers all getting into their suits, right? And creating what was Megazord or whatever the hell the thing was.
Whatever it was,
Megatron. I don't remember the name of the thing. But yeah, it's like that combination where now they're all working together, and it's they're making these things that like I it would be the same reaction I would have to a Pentatonics video.
Yeah.
Mouth agape, unbelievably blown away by every single talent that's happening on the screen, working in this cohesive unit to make this just turn this hard rock thing into this beautiful, legible, understandable, emotional experience. Yeah. It's so good, man.
One more hot take before we go.
Shit.
Okay.
We're going to be here till 10 o'clock.
I feel like a lot of Pentatonics' new music, I used to listen to a lot of their older stuff. I loved their older stuff. And even their stuff up to, let's say, 1.5, 2 years ago. It feels like their music has become more commercialized rather than, I feel like their last couple new ones over the past years has kind of felt, I don't know if cookie cutter is the right way, but like you can still tell there's a lot of skill into it, but they can definitely do better. You know that they're capable of doing better.
4-letter cadence that answers that. Like the S is for the way you sing for me. O is for the only label that you need. N is anybody. It's where I'm going with it, right? There's a reason why they've kind of hit that commercialized plateau, right?
And they're just right.
And this is not to say that Pentatonics has gotten bad.
Yeah.
They've capped. They're there.
Yeah.
They're there. There's no need for them to be grinding, being this crazy inspirational thing anymore because they've hit the level of success. Like you said, they're capped.
Yeah.
What label are you going to go to after Sony that's going to give you more anything?
Yeah.
There isn't one. And if there is one that thinks they can give you more, they're probably owned by Sony. We looked up the list on one of our videos of all of the record labels that Sony owns. By the way, the guy that's been asking for Polyphia in the comments, day 3 of asking the boys for Polyphia. I see you. By the way, we see you.
Yeah.
If you're watching this,
all the other Polyphia fans.
They're signed by Rise Records.
Yeah. Guess what?
Rise Records is owned by Sony. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And I know you're going to come in here. Well, I saw so-and-so reaction channel do the thing. They probably had a filter.
They won't have a channel left in 2 years.
Either that or they had a filter. They changed the audio. They augmented their voice. They stopped in a certain amount of time. They had all these crappy restrictions.
Let me put it to you guys this way, okay? I know a guy who works for Sony and has a reaction channel on the side. He thinks that because he works for Sony, he can go and
get away
react
with
to whatever. He is on his fourth YouTube channel in 2 years. Because guess what? Sony goes, hey, that's our money. Take it down. He goes, oh, okay, well, I'll just put up another one. Hey, that's our money. Take it down. Hey, we're done fucking with you. Delete the channel. Like,
until it's your name on the label, you don't own anything. Even if you work for the company, just like the companies we work for.
Yep.
Like, Chris has worked for a company for a long time. He's getting ready to be handed that company. However, until that time comes, it's not his company. He doesn't. He can manage and do all the things and like wear all the labels and present himself a certain way, but he doesn't actually own. If the actual owner of the shop decides to come in tomorrow and go, we're done, I'm calling it quits, I'm moving to Tahiti, and I'm just going to,
it's like, well, Jose, we're just going to keep these 2 bays open.
Chris is going to start looking for investors, right?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't actually own anything. So same thing with these bands that sign on, right? Like, they don't actually own their music.
Yeah.
It's owned by somebody else.
Yep.
And I think that we got off on a tangent. Can't React to Polyphia. They're owned by Sony. Yeah. Pentatonics is also owned by Sony, which is why their music sounds so goddamn good. And they're
Home Free.
They're literally at the top of their game. Home Free recently
owned by Orchard.
Sold
or Orchid or whatever.
Orchard Music Group.
Yeah.
Orchard Music Group was independent. They were their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sony came knocking.
Sold.
Orchard answered the door. Can you blame them?
Nope.
You can't, because if Sony came knocking on my door, guess who's selling out tomorrow? Sorry, guys. They wrote me a check, and that's exaggerated.
Yeah.
They come to my door with a $2 million check. I'm putting Sony on the front of my house in an LED sign display. I don't care. Right, money can buy anything, but at the end of the day, like your passion is what bases all of that, right? And basically, the reason why we can't do certain things is because of the umbrella corporation that is Sony.
But I was bringing that whole thing up to say
I'm sorry
that I feel like you lose the ambition to grind and learn and grow when everything is handed to you, right? I mean, Pentatonics calls the studio producer, hey, we're coming in, we're wanting to record this. It's this many beats per minute. It's in this key.
Here's a sample of it, yeah.
And then they show up, and it's already set up. They do the thing. They're in and out of there in half a day, couple hours, whatever.
When you hit...
And then these guys have to sit there in a room with a laptop and a microphone and foam padding on the wall and do take after take. And, hey, you know what? Something doesn't sound right about this thing. So then they start tweaking some kind of knobs and figuring it out themselves. And, like, the level of intensity and care for your product greatly improves when you really got to work for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. 1,000,000%.
Yeah. It's like giving a kid a car. Watch how that goes. Just give it to him.
Talk to my parents. The first 3 cars I had. There's a reason they were hand-me-downs. There's a reason it was like, this is your sister's car who's older than you. She's now got a better car because she's more responsible, so she gets a new car.
Even
you get her shit box, and this is not a free ride. You're paying us for her car. And then I ruined them all.
As a mechanic, I have seen parents give their kids BMWs.
Oh my God.
Like, and I'm not talking, 15-year-old. I'm talking like 2-year-old BMWs, 30,000 miles on the dash.
I was on the other end of the spectrum. I was talking, because the way I grew up, I was like, okay, this kid gets a fucking 2002 the 330 with fucking 220,000 miles.
I didn't even get that either. My dad's like, you want to drive? Yeah, cool. You need to get your license.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can you take me down? No, I said you need to go get your license.
Go get it.
Yeah.
Go get it.
But anyway, I've seen parents give their kids these cars, and they pay for all the maintenance and all the stuff. And guess what? It always ends up in a ditch or stuck somewhere, or shit's completely fucked up, and because they didn't have to work for it. They have no appreciation for what was given to them.
Sure.
And you may end up just living your life and being 50 and given a brand new car. And you're not going to appreciate it as much because it's not something you invested your time into.
You're not attached to it at all. It's just a material at that point.
It's just a thing.
And this isn't to say that I feel like this is.
I'm just trying to explain why I feel like
someone might misconstrue this as Pentatonics never had to work for anything in their lives, right? No, they worked very hard. We're well aware of their time on the sing off and things like that,
and even before that,
and all of their trials and tribulations leading up to that, right? We're well aware of that.
Yeah.
We're just talking about once you hit level 150 in Helldivers, which is the highest level you can hit.
There's nothing left to do, man.
What do you do? Where do you go from there? Your incentives are met. You have all of your bonuses. You have all of your extra stuff. You've fully loaded on cash. You've got all of your samples. You've got, no one knows, if you don't know what I'm talking, it's just video game talk that I'm comparing to being at the top of your game in the music
It's
world,
like there's
right?
nothing left for me in the game.
When you're signed by Sony and you're making a certain amount a year, and that's what Sony gives you, and they're literally the leading record company in the entire world.
And they go, hey, we need a record. You're like, fine, I guess I'll.
We need a record.
Like,
You're still on contract. Here's a check. Go make it happen. This producer's on board. Like we can get you in for these dates. How do you guys feel? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, cool. It's set up.
Yeah.
We just make music and keep making money. And this is where the caveat comes in. As long as you stay relevant with that company, they'll keep paying you.
Yep.
It's really hard to maintain relevance. Pentatonics is awesome at it.
Yeah.
Because they've been at it for a long time.
They've
They
done
have
it
a
for
great following.
years. Yeah.
But it's really hard to like bridge that gap of maintaining relevance and falling off. There's like that's and who did we watch that talked about that maintaining relevance once you don't want to get famous overnight because then you can't maintain relevance, and it's really hard to keep that flow going if you only have one video out and then all of a sudden you've got no content.
That was, believe it or not, Brandon Ferris.
Was it? Was it?
Yes.
Okay. I knew it was someone pretty big, but like. Yeah, Brandon Ferris is straight up the one that's like, you don't want to go famous overnight. You don't want to be that thing.
You don't want to be the spider guy.
You need. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was the eating the spider.
Yes.
What a crazy. You never want to be that guy that's just handed everything overnight. It sounds so good.
It sounds nice.
It sounds so good. Wake up tomorrow and there's just a bag of cash sitting at your front door. Awesome, dude. Check out. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
But in order to get another bag of cash, you have to do the thing again. Did you only do one of them? Like,
this is a special episode. It's a little long, but I'm telling you guys, like,
we knew this was going to be a long episode, by the way.
I still have people who go, so, like, you're still doing the YouTube thing? Yeah. Like, oh, so, like, you know, you're still making about the same amount of money you were last year? About, yeah.
A little more, maybe.
It's like, it comes and goes, you know, depending on the month.
Depends on the month.
And they go, but, like, it's not enough to live on? Well, no.
No.
But you're still doing it.
What?
I've only been doing it 4 years.
What?
Like
enough to live on.
I've only been listen, I've been a mechanic for 11, okay? like I put way more time into that.
Also,
and guess what? Just now, it's starting to pay off, okay?
We do this maybe, I would say total hours, maybe like 5 hours a week.
Yeah.
So, like, combined, and that's for 4 episodes a week, right? As far as shooting time goes. We maybe spend 5 hours, maybe sometimes, I'd say like between 5 and 7 hours in the studio a week, right? Let's compare, if you're still doing it, oh, it's not enough to live on. Let's compare those statements with somebody who's working 40 hours a week in today's society and literally goes to work Monday through Friday and works every fucking day and completely consistent. Are you making enough to live on? 90% of the population? Nope. So, like, what's the comparison here? What are you trying to say? It's a second job. You know how many people have second jobs that are just trying to make the bills? And like, and most people have second and third and sometimes fourth jobs.
It's crazy because people just assume that you get on YouTube and get views.
Oh, dude.
And then there's a Lamborghini in your parking lot. Like, I
It's either that or it's the complete opposite where people are like, you're on YouTube? Yeah. So how does that work? And you're like, well, we got like 40,000 subscribers. And they're like, you're the most famous person I've ever met. And I'm like, negative. No. Anyways, so it sways one way or the other. But there definitely is this thing where I've had that too, where people are like, oh, so you're not making. I've told them like, oh, we're close to 40,000. Oh shit, so you guys are making like a couple thousand a month, you know? And I'm like, let me tell you this, sir. I wouldn't be standing in this warehouse pushing pallets and driving trucks.
I wouldn't be here working with you.
If I was making a couple thousand a month to make videos. So, yeah.
It's like that Theo Vaughn talked about when he was a kid hanging out with his black neighbors in the trailer park. And
yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, we all sitting there. He goes, hey, man, I can't believe what you did to us. That shit was fucked up. He goes, what I did to you? Man, we all sitting here. We gonna split these plums or what?
Yeah, like what I did. I didn't do anything.
Why would I do that and move in next door to you?
Yeah. Why would I be in your neighborhood, dude?
It's so good.
Yeah. This is a very long way, and most of you have probably fallen off right by this point. That's fine.
Okay.
That's
It's
okay.
good
This is
conversation.
why people think we're a podcast. This is kind of what we do, right?
Yeah.
But this is a very, very long way of saying
They're doing the right thing, and they're doing it at their own pace, and it's a good pace. And I think somebody's got to take Pentatonic's place when they're done.
I am at a point now where I am as humbled watching VoicePlay as I have been watching Pentatonics. I know going into a Pentatonics reaction that I expect the absolute best when they get on the screen.
Yep.
And to this point, I have not been let down. My expectations have been met or exceeded every single time. VoicePlay is starting to have that same effect.
Yeah.
Where I know what I'm getting into when we go in, and by the end of it, I'm like, holy shit, that was 10 times better than I could have ever imagined. And I knew it was going to be good.
Yeah.
So, like, as far as I'm concerned, they're in a level playing field with some of the top players out there.
Independent.
And I'm so proud of them, man.
Yeah.
These guys kill it, and there's a reason we have them on the screen every single time. There's a reason they're a 5 out of 5. There's a reason we take the time and effort to learn things about them and keep up and like. They're incredible. As far as I'm concerned, they're like one of my top spots right now. Home Free will always have a special place in my heart. I've seen them live. I had conversations with Adam Rupp and Adam Chance. I mean, I literally sat down with those guys at a bar and like talked about drums with Adam Rupp. That was like one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life. However, I just think they're going through some stuff right now, right? Home Free's doing their thing. So we need to let that iron out a little bit. VoicePlay just like keeps going. They just keep going up. And every time they get on the screen, I'm more and more impressed.
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
I will tell you, it all changed with
I Can Help.
What's that fucking song? The
one on our Patreon?
No, it was on our Patreon, but I think we did it here too.
It wasn't the Aerosmith one, was it? Because we did a Aerosmith one with VoicePlay.
It was the Aerosmith.
That's the one on our Patreon.
Yeah.
What the hell was the name of that one? Can't remember the name of it. It was the Aerosmith one. Damn it! Hang on. You can quick cut this.
I can cut all sorts of shit.
So
Call me Freddy Krueger.
right?
I'd be cutting.
Oh no.
No, it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah. Hey, because it'll be for us. It'll be just unlisted, so they won't see it. But it's still
it'll be in
on
our videos,
YouTube.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Search across your channel.
VoicePlay.
0 VoicePlay video.
0.
Oh, I spelled it wrong. Wait.
Well, that would help.
V-O-I. No. Yeah.
Excuse me, bitch.
Hello? Oh, I'm on my personal YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be it.
That would
Okay,
be
let's
it.
try this.
Let's try that.
I don't have any VoicePlay videos.
Dream On.
We don't have to look it up.
That's the one I was thinking
It was Dream
of.
On. Okay, really quick.
I feel like
It's called Dream On. That's what we were talking about. In case you have to cut it.
I feel like that was the video. The VoicePlay had a turn.
Do you remember? I mean, obviously you do. Our reaction to that?
Yes.
When we were both sitting here
Yes.
just like...
I remember that's the first time I've ever heard the words to that song.
We spoke so long about the words to the song.
Yes.
Because both of us were like, wow, I've never actually heard this song before. It was one of those moments. I fully agree with you. I think that was that was a turning point for both of us as a channel that was just like, dude, these guys are like, they're here.
I think for them as a group, that video set a precedent for what was coming. Like,
That definitely was them like showing up and being like, okay,
from now on, this is the bar.
we're here to play.
Like, yeah.
We're going to do the acapella thing, and we're going to make it good. And they absolutely have delivered on that. And I am excited. Every time they come up on the screen, it's one of these. This is almost an hour-long reaction.
Good.
We really appreciate you guys for sticking with us. If you're still here, leave that cloud emoji down in the comments if you made it this far. And we fully, like... These are the reasons. This is what makes us want to be a channel, are videos like this.
Yep.
There's so much to talk about, and there's so much growth and so much potential. They're still staying independent, and they're just so good, man. They got nowhere to go but up, and they have miles and miles and miles of just open prairie to develop, right?
Yep.
And I'm excited for what's coming next. Every time. 5 out of 5. Go.
If you guys enjoyed today's TED Talk as much as we did, be sure to leave a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, click the bell, become part of the notification gang, and we'll see you, because I know there's one of y'all left next time.
That's right.
Ow.
We see you. We see you out there in our comment section with your clouds and your unicorns and rainbows, and I think we had some poop emojis. If you want to throw the screen's off now, so throw me a poop emoji if you made it this far, right? Then I'll actually know. All right.